I don't know about you, but red tape and bureaucracy can be particularly daunting, especially when it comes to tax matters, and none more so than the government's tax credit scheme. Many people are finding that having been awarded tax credits in one year, are being asked to pay huge sums in overpayments back the following, causing distress and hardship for many. If this affects you or someone you know, this is definitely for you.
We got about half a dozen gyro checks, apparently with back money that we should have been given. That was ours, go away and spend it.
I thought I was entitled to this, so I was led to believe.
We'd made several phone calls, and throughout the course of those phone calls, they'd assured us that money was ours.
So we were backwards and forwards with letters and all this, and in the end they just said, we've overpaid you by first of all it was 1,300. I've had 5 different amounts.
We suddenly got a demand to say that we were £2,005 in debt.
And by the end of the year we'd been overpaid, well, it depends on which piece of paper you look at, between £3,000 and £7,000, although there's still some discrepancy in exactly what the figure is.
We then went on from £2,005 to the next one we got just a few weeks later was £3,800.
To owe money, I've never been in debt, and to owe money.
That £3,800 has suddenly jumped to nearly £8,000.
We then found out, I think it was 2005, 2006, they'd overpaid us again, which we weren't aware of, and that was then another £1,600.
Then the letters started coming saying they were I'd perhaps end up in court with court costs, etc, etc. I just froze at this.
This made us feel very disempowered, quite frightened because of the power of HMRC.
If you could imagine, I was really rock bottom.
It's been extremely stressful. It's got nearly to pushing you over the edge, and that is not an understatement.
The fact that there's so many people out there with the same sort of problems, because you do start to question your own sanity.
Just like those people, and also living in Rotherham, Paula Dean found herself in a similar situation with Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs, the body responsible for administrating tax credits. But her plight spurred her to take steps most of us wouldn't dream of.
Suddenly you're landed with thousands of pounds worth of bill that you had no idea was coming, and it's really quite complex, and as with everybody else I got other things going off in my life, and it was really quite stressful and distressing, and I just didn't know where to turn. It was literally a bolt out of the blue, so I started talking to other people, researching the internet, and found out that this was going to be something happening to a lot of people, and we really needed to be reaching out and getting in contact with each other. So I had a go at setting up the website. It had to be the way that we were going to reach each other, and it worked. It really started coming together. People immediately started contacting me, and because of that we were able to find out a lot more about what was happening and other causes of overpayments and things like that.
The website was the basis of a new organisation, Tax Credit Casualties. The number of people seeking Paula's services has grown and grown. Each flag on the map represents just some of the clients or casualties. And other people were drawn in to help. Sarah McCall's day job is as a project officer in the public sector.
I met Paula and the website after finding out about my own overpayment, when I found out that I'd been a casualty of the system. I didn't only want to get advice, I also wanted to help other people. So I joined Paula and became one of the national coordinators. Paula deals with the casework. Because we play to our professional skills and strengths, I deal with the legal issues, conduct research, I look after the finances as well, because now we're an unincorporated organisation. We can hold funds and have a bank account. Other professionals then came on board. The third national coordinator is Ali. She, like Paula, works in social work. And Graham, our webmaster, is an IT professional. So we all professional people, and even though we do this voluntarily and we don't do a charge for any of our services, we do conduct ourselves in a professional manner as possible.
Now that we've got a core team of active members all focusing on particular areas of work, I can focus on the caseload work, and that tends to be the first thing people come to us for. That's about starting and continuing your dispute, and I can either help them use the step-by-step guide, which includes templates and draft letters, or I can tailor-make the advice to represent their particular circumstances. In certain cases, I'll also become the registered representative, and in that case HMRC would deal with me rather than the claimant, and that can help take pressure off if other people have got other things going on. And it's about basically guiding people through the process, helping them understand what pieces they need to be focusing on. Again, this is tax law, and there's certain things you need to know about what happened or what you need to be doing, and now I'm up to speed on all that, I can guide people on which bits they need to be using and where they need to be pointing.
Tax Credit Casualties provide free advice on overpayments of tax credits. We're not generic tax advisors. It's a very specific area that we work in. And part of that work is to reassure people that they're not criminals, they're not committing fraud or trying to, and they're not trying to avoid tax payments either. It's just a system-generated error more often than not that's occurred, and we help them to deal with that. We don't participate in working on any cases of suspected fraud. It's just genuine overpayments of tax credits that we deal with.
Although Tax Credit Casualties has growing UK interest and is even generating attention in high places, it's still as concerned as always with the people of Rotherham.
Tax Credit Casualties have been a lifeline, really. They're superb. The help that she's given me, explaining things, what they can do and what they can't do, what the Inland Revenue can do and what they can't do. I never even knew until Paul has explained them to me.
I don't really honestly know how far we would have got without Tax Credit Casualties. So even if I don't win my dispute, the fact that I don't feel so isolated is worth its weight in gold.
They're marvellous. They're really marvellous, they are. Can't fault them.
So there you are. If you've been overpaid tax credits and it's causing you or someone you know difficulty, Tax Credit Casualties would like to hear from you. They can help. Just go online to taxcc.org or call the BBC Radio Sheffield Action Line on 0114 267 5444.